On Triple J, New Young Pony Club and ice cream. I guarantee whatever you're up to this weekend, maybe it involves ice cream. It probably doesn't involve swimming with what I once thought were dangerous animals, and now I'm thinking are just little family friends, sharks. Madison Stewart is on the show, and she's up on the 25 Under 25 website. 17, swimming with sharks for 6 years.
Once you get down there and see what they're about, you see that one dive, two dives with sharks can change people's minds. It's magical, that's all. I see it every day.
Yeah, when the shark is just sitting there calm, when you're calming a 9-10 foot, 250 kilo animal, that's very cool to be able to put something like that to sleep. Just sit there and caress it and stroke it. Very, very special feeling for me, and that's why I really, really love the sharks for that.
I set my thoughts to far off destinations.
Sharks have never given me a reason to be afraid of them, so I'm not going to be afraid of them.
Far more suited than here.
It really involves man and sharks together and a connection that we all have together, you know, and so it's really, really quite special.
The sharks are, you know, family to us. I dive with them every single day. And the first shark I ever saw in the wild was just off the Great Barrier Reef, and it was just amazing. It was just a little white tip, but it was still, it was so cool to see a shark. And you know, when we started seeing tigers and all the other kind of sharks, it was amazing, amazing to see.
I do believe it's true that there are lungs left in both of our shoes. But if the silence takes you, then I hope it takes me too. So brown eyes, I'll hold you near, 'cause you're the only song I want to hear. A melody softly soaring through my atmosphere, where your soul meets body.
I kind of assumed sometimes when I'm down there in the feeds and there's all these sharks going crazy. I mean, even for someone who loves sharks, this is kind of a spooky experience because they're all in a different attitude. But you're sitting down there in the feed and the sharks going mad around you. And I just noticed one day that that's the slowest I've ever breathed. And I kind of went, maybe there is something wrong with me. But
There is.
Thanks, Tom.
I do believe it's true that there are lungs left in both of our shoes. But if the silence takes you, then I hope it takes me too. So brown eyes, I'll hold you near, 'cause you're the only song I want to hear. A melody softly soaring through my atmosphere.
Everything people have on land, like all their family, all their loves and everything, all the social situations, for me, all of that's in the ocean. So that's all out there for me. That's what it is that I love. It's my everything. My home's in the ocean.
A melody softly soaring through my atmosphere. Good luck and don't dare give up. Give it a little bit of vitriol. And if it's really gonna cut you up, give it a little bit of vitriol.
The Coral Sea is the only place I've ever dived which has looked the most like it's never been touched, you know, like humans haven't got to it yet. And it is stunning, the fish life. You get lost in schools of fish, you can't see the surface anymore because they're just crowding above you. And the sharks, some of them have never seen humans before.
Dare give up, give it a little bit of vitriol. Hey! And if it's really gonna cut you up, give it a little bit of vitriol. Hey!
The sharks there are incredible.
Oh, wow, that's what everybody's saying. Hey! Good luck and don't dare give up, give it a little bit of vitriol. Don't let yourself down.
We defy every one of our instincts when we go underwater. Why? Because it's fun. This is where I come to breathe, to play, where my friends and family are. I made this world my home.
Good luck and don't dare give up, give it a little bit of vitriol. Hey! And if it's really gonna cut you up, give it.
The whole plan was I'd leave school and, we'd travel and dive and film. And I wanted to go to the Great Barrier Reef, basically, to film these sharks. And that's when the whole thing started. When I went back to the Great Barrier Reef after leaving school, as you were saying before, I noticed that they were gone. They were disappearing. In 2008, the Australian government proposed to establish dedicated shark fin fisheries inside the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. They called the practice sustainable, as the fins are removed, but the body of the shark is kept and sold as a low-value product in this country. I had already begun to see them disappear in my 6 years diving these reefs. Shark finning and the overall killing of sharks cannot be tolerated in an already suffocating ocean. Jacques Cousteau once said himself, "People protect what they love." I want my home back. I will not go down without a fight. I took my footage into schools. I went to places I never intended to see. To places I had only dreamt of. I fight for my oceans the only way I know how. At 14 years old, I left school and began to tell and show people this world in the hope it would make it harder for them to allow its destruction. We have become the dominants in the oceans that once held the balance for the entire planet, but the sharks govern this world, and it must remain that way. I've seen ecosystems crash because of it, and I've seen shark populations disappear. I'm 17 years old. I started diving when I was 11. I should not have seen that by now.